Force Awakens left us with a lot of questions. How does Phasma keep her armor so shiny? Where can I find a bromance like Poe and Finn's? Is Jedi plural or singular? And of course, who are Rey's parents? I need answers.
And the new trailer released at Celebration wasn't much help. In fact, now I think I have more questions than I did before. And while there's a ton of great content here on GameSpot Universe about Star Wars and anime, movies, TV, comics, and wrestling, subscribe so you don't miss out, no one seemed to have any answers about The Last Jedi.
So I did what I do best and went trawling through the internet to find some answers. Here are the 5 craziest Last Jedi theories that are just wacky enough to work.
I'm being excluded from the council. I know there are things about the Force that they're not telling me.
One of the big Star Wars mysteries of today is the identity of Supreme Leader Snoke. The Voldemort stunt double was last seen in The Force Awakens, using Kylo Ren's daddy issues to drag him deeper into the dark side. While we're yet to officially find out who Snoke is, there have been some interesting theories surrounding the character. One posits that he's actually Anakin Skywalker's brother. Reddit users Darby Piper, Lego eBay, and Curty12 delve into some extended Star Wars fiction that is currently in canon limbo right now, so could end up being used. The idea is that Darth Plagueis, an incredibly powerful Jedi that had control over the Force to the extent that he could use it to create life, manifested Snoke as part of his experiments with midichlorians. In order to maintain a balance, the Force gave life to another character we know and love oh so much.
I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere.
Anakin Skywalker. This would make the 2 twin brothers of sorts, except one got silky smooth skin and the other looks like a 400-year-old raisin. If you're asking yourself, well, where has Snoke been all this time? Well, Darby has an answer for that. You see, Plagueis' apprentice was Palpatine, who murdered his master and became Emperor. It's theorized that Snoke fled to avoid meeting the same fate as his creator at the hands of the power-hungry Emperor, and has now re-emerged after learning that Vader, aka his maybe brother Anakin, has done away with the Emperor. Interestingly, some believe that this could set the stage for Anakin appearing in The Last Jedi. Hayden Christensen, who played teenage Annie, recently attended Star Wars Celebration, sparking speculation that he may reveal himself to Kylo Ren and play some part in Kylo's internal struggle between the light and the dark side of the Force. Of course, he'd have to pop up as a Force ghost, and if you ask me, I bet just hearing the words Force ghost give people at LucasArts heart palpitines.
The droid will soon be delivered to the Resistance, leading them to the Last Jedi.
The Last Jedi. Now, is Jedi plural or singular? It's the question that's been plaguing the internet ever since episode 8 was unveiled. But what if I told you that Jedi wasn't the word you should be focusing on?
Reddit user Anakin Kardashian suggested that the way we're interpreting the word last is wrong. We think of last as being the final, and that Luke Skywalker is gonna be the final Jedi. The lesser known Kardashian says that the last actually refers to the previous Jedi, as in those who came before. The Jedi is an ancient order, serving as guardians of peace and justice for well over 1,000 generations. But there are so many stories and things we don't know about them. And I'm not talking about the stuff that's been cut from the canon. The new Star Wars films seem to be digging into the history of the Jedi. In The Force Awakens, Luke is searching for the original Jedi Temple, and in Rogue One, Jyn Erso ends up on Jedha, the planet considered to be the Jedi's spiritual home. Kylo Ren's lightsaber was assembled based on an ancient design that apparently dates back to the Great Scourge of Malachor, a great battle between Sith and Jedi that happened thousands of years ago. But where did he get that lightsaber? From Supreme Leader Snoke. Now, we know Snoke is old, but how old? Could he have been part of the ancient Jedi, the Last Jedi? Anakin Kardashian asks, what if what we know as Jedi are not really Jedi after all? What if Snoke is the Last Jedi in its original form?
Now, I'm not sure they're gonna retcon everything we know about the Jedi 40 years after the first movie, but this theory does have me thinking differently about Snoke.
I'm not giving you anything.
We'll see.
Kylo Ren has quickly become a favorite among Star Wars fans, partially because of his badass lightsaber and outstanding cheekbones, but also because there's an internal struggle within him that's really interesting. But what if there's more to this duality than we actually know? What if Kylo Ren is a double agent? This popular theory was posted on Tumblr by Letitia Piratek, but it was actually her father, a lifelong Star Wars fan, that came up with it. He suggested that maybe Kylo is embracing the dark side so he can end the Sith from within. In The Force Awakens, we see Kylo idolizes Darth Vader's melted helmet and regularly talks to it. Perhaps this is because he's using it to ensure that he remains steadfast in his goal of bringing down the Sith, a mission originally started by his grandfather, Anakin Skywalker, before he was seduced by the dark side and became Vader. It would also explain the conversation Kylo had with his father, Han Solo, before killing him on Starkiller Base. In that moment, the emotional strain the internal conflict has on Kylo comes to a boiling point. In the movie, he also talks about being seduced by the light side, whereas the Sith traditionally focus on embracing it. This could be signs that he's struggling to maintain his cover, and asks his father to give his life so he can carry on his subterfuge. He's effectively asking Han to sacrifice himself so that Kylo can become a Sith and do what he needs to. Papa Piratek also thinks that Kylo's role as a double agent for the light side is also why he's so interested in Rey. He thinks that by teaming up with the light side Jedi, they can defeat Snoke together. Not only would this be a fantastic redemption arc for Kylo, but it also give Han's death, or sacrifice, a whole lot more meaning.
Thank you.
You will remove these restraints and leave this cell with the door open.
The Force Awakens does a lot to try and convince you that Rey is Luke's daughter. After all, Star Wars has always been about the Skywalkers, and Rey even inherits Luke's lightsaber. But if you read between the lines, there's actually some pretty compelling evidence that she might be the granddaughter of one Ben Kenobi.
Think of it this way. The Star Wars movies are obsessed with balance. Light versus dark, faith versus technology, yada versus yada. So just as Kylo Ren is the grandson of Anakin Skywalker, aka Darth Vader, what if Rey is the granddaughter of Obi-Wan? In a blog post on Medium, Ben Ostrower points out that the only two good guys with British accents are Obi-Wan and Rey. C-3PO obviously doesn't count because he's a robot. But anyway, they also share the same dress sense, both use the infamous Jedi mind trick to persuade stormtroopers to go about their business, and perhaps most intriguingly, in Maz's basement where Rey discovers Luke's lightsaber, you can hear a mashup of Alec Guinness and Ewan McGregor, the actors who portrayed Obi-Wan in the prequels and original trilogy, saying,
Rey Kenobi confirmed.
You need a teacher! I could show you the ways of the Force!
So you know there's light Jedis and you know there's dark Jedis, but did you know there were grey Jedis? The movie didn't focus on them much, but that could all change with Rey. The idea of grey Jedi was explored somewhat in BioWare's Knights of the Old Republic. They were depicted as morally grey force wielders that had one foot in the dark side and the other in the light side. As explained by comicbook.com, grey Jedi were able to strike a balance between the two sides without corrupting themselves, and operated outside of the Jedi Code and the Jedi Council. The latest trailer for The Last Jedi seems to be hinting that Rey is going to become something more than a traditional Jedi. It emphasizes the balance, and something that is so much bigger than what we're used to. In The Force Awakens, we see that although Rey starts off seemingly well aligned to the light side, there are also flashes of the dark within her. In her fight against Kylo Ren, for example, she's not the cool, calm, composed light side Jedi that we're used to seeing. She's driven by anger and fury. This could be sowing the seeds for her becoming a grey Jedi. Even Rey's visual representation seems to suggest this. Although she starts off wearing a light sandy coloured outfit in The Force Awakens, by the time she meets Luke at the end, she's sporting a muted grey vest. This could be a visual clue as to her transformation. Another more obvious hint is in the poster for The Last Jedi revealed during Star Wars Celebration. On one side of the poster is Luke, on the other is Kylo, both painted in a Sith red, but in between them is Rey, raising a blue lightsaber. Around her is a halo of light, which is made up of both red and blue, creating a mixed color, striking a balance, if you will. Could Rey's destiny be to bring balance to the Force by becoming a Jedi that's neither good nor bad? We don't know, but we're excited to find out.
You know how to use one of those?
Yeah, you pull the trigger.
A little bit more to it than that. You got a lot to learn.
Last week we gave you 8 things you might not know about the Fast and the Furious, so now it's time to read your comments. Yes, that's right. We're always watching and reading.
Commenter Slinky with a Q says, what if Riddick, Dom's long-lost brother, showed up? Everyone would die Final Destination style deaths. That's triple crossover.
I
3
like it.
crossovers.
The triple
I'm into
cross.
this.
CTV says they brainwashed Dom MK Ultra style.
That's a
I
great
really like
idea.
that.
Yeah, I like that. I'm into the conspiracy angle.
Yeah.
Got Wreck Fabian says, GameSpot, please sort out your ad volumes. They blow my eardrums and then I can't hear the vid at the same volume level.
I'm gonna make notes and we will talk to someone in engineering and get on that for you.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, sorry about that. But hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to like and subscribe to GameSpot Universe for more. We'll see you next week.
Always watching.
Always. This hurts you.